Let's do some EFT tapping together for the feeling of powerlessness with all the things going on in the world that you don't feel like you can really contribute to in any way. It can be a very down and powerless feeling. And one thing is for sure, when you are in that state and it's really driving you down, if there is something we can contribute, it's a lot harder to see that clearly. And at the very least, we're not going to be the best we can be for the people around us, our own family, our own community. It certainly doesn't help them to have that energy of just, oh, it's all hopeless, but it can easily feel that way with everything going on. So just tuning into that sense of powerlessness. I've heard some people say hopelessness recently. Just tuning into that, welcoming that emotion as best you can. And let's say together, even though I feel totally powerless with everything going on in the world, I wish I could help. I wish things could be different. And I choose to accept myself as best I can. Even though I feel powerless, maybe hopeless, maybe it's really depressing that all of these things are happening right now. It feels like there's nothing I can do about it. It's bringing up a lot of emotion in me, or perhaps a sense of total numbness. And I choose to honor myself and everything I'm going through. Even though I feel totally powerless. Horrible things are happening. And it brings up so much emotion in me to see it. And maybe I want to help in some way. Or I wish that things could be different than they are. And I feel powerless to contribute, or that my contributions would matter in any way. And still I choose to honor and accept myself as best I can, and my own personal feelings and energy about this. Because that may be one of the few things that I can make a big difference in. Okay, now through the points. I feel powerless. It feels like I'm powerless. There's some really awful things happening. And I'm not sure how I can contribute. I feel like I want to do something. I feel like I want it to be different. Maybe it feels a bit hopeless. Maybe it feels like no matter what happens, no matter what anyone does, terrible things keep happening. And it can feel like there's nothing I can do about it. And depending on my background, my mind may go to different places. I may hear some people say that just by myself meditating, that by sending positive energy, that does make a tangible difference. Maybe it does help in some way. Maybe that doesn't feel like it's enough. Maybe I'm not sure I believe in that. Maybe it feels like there needs to be more. But even if I do feel that way, it can feel as though, what am I supposed to do about it? And sometimes all the available actions just feel pointless Sometimes making any statement at all. Whether that's posting something online or having a conversation about it. Maybe it just devolves into an argument. And I'm not sure if I really helped anyone. I just want to do something. And I'm honoring that feeling. I'm honoring that feeling of powerlessness. Because one thing does make sense. Me feeling powerless, me feeling extra bad, is certainly not going to help inspire any clarity if there is any action I can take. And if my own energy, my own meditation or visualization, or my own outreach efforts, they're likely to be more effective if I feel in some kind of alignment with myself. Just checking in with myself about this. Noticing if I feel extra guilty. Maybe I've been complaining or down on some of my own problems that seem pretty small in comparison. But I am human. I can allow myself to just notice. It's a natural reaction. We get caught up in our own stuff. And it doesn't mean my own challenges are not valid. But for me to extra beat myself up about it, or feel more guilty about it, definitely doesn't help anyone else. Definitely makes it all about me. And so if there is something I can contribute, whether that's energetically, or there is something I'm called to do, to say, maybe it's get involved in some very direct way. Might even be inspired to run for something. Whatever it might be. I want to allow myself to recognize that yes, it is going to feel bad to see horrible things. But to dwell on a sense of powerlessness, to indulge in the interpretation that there's literally nothing I can do or contribute, is certainly not going to help matters. And whatever I am feeling about this is okay. It may bounce all over the place. I need to give myself some space to feel that, to allow that to process. It makes sense on some level that if we can't regulate ourselves, if we can't process and be with our own emotions, if we can't shift our own energy in some small way from a sense of hopelessness to a sense of calm or even inspiration, then we're less likely to be able to help others. or find some wisdom or guidance as far as how we can do that. So just allowing myself to process all of this as best I can. Allowing myself to connect to whatever ways, small or big, silent or vocally, that I might be able to contribute something, even just energetically, to be able to tune into that as best I can. Okay, let's take a breath together. And let me know if that's helpful for you, if that brings anything up. I know the feeling, it's like, here I am just doing a tapping video. What really is that going to do for the world? But, I got to do it. It's one thing I feel like I can do, and maybe it makes a small difference for somebody. And I think you all have your own version of that, if not much bigger versions of that you can do that will each play their part. And, even if it helps one person get through a challenging time, even if you're not there directly. So, yeah, let me know any questions, thoughts, and keep me posted. I will see you next time. Thanks so much.